This is West Ham Unofficial. Come on, you Irons. Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. Back again for a big talk about football. We had a week off due to the Europa League last week, but we are back this week with episode 5 of season 2. As always, at the start, I'm joined by Mike. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, good. Jack, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Right then, before we get into anything, if you're watching this live or on repeat, make sure to drop a like on a video, share the channel around. On the other side, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well to be notified when we go live or upload a video. And just something to dabble in there. Even Mike doesn't know anything about this. October the 1st, we've got some exciting channel news. So what you've got to do is hit that bell icon. See, even Mike's excited. See, Mike's eyes lit up there. Some exciting channel news on October the 1st. So we'll look out for that because there's good things coming on West Ham Unofficial. Mike, are you ready to talk about some Premier League clubs? Our game, unfortunately, this week is going to backfire on us. The game of are you above us or are you below us? It's going to backfire this week.
Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? I'm afraid, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's only one team that's below us that we're coming on tonight, but I'm just going to check, which is unfortunate, but we're still buzzing from last night, Mike. We're going to come on to it later on, but how good was that last night?
Oh, great, mate! A fantastic result. Got their heads back up again. Shame the weekend, obviously, and I think if they'd have asked us, if you'd have asked me which game would we have preferred to win, I would have said the Premier League game. But hey, it keeps us in the cup, and it gives us something else to go for again. It's still all four are still on, mate.
They are. The quadruple is still on. And let me get rid of that banner. Before we get on to anything else, we're going to try. Our target tonight is to get James E20 Zone TV up to 100 subscribers. That's our target by 8 o'clock tonight, for James to be up to 100 subscribers. So the link I put in the chat, if you haven't already subscribed to E20 Zone TV, the link is now in the chat to go and subscribe over there. Right, that's the waffle out of the way. Let's take some comments. The day's banter day. I hope you're on to Ellen Road. We go. Yeah, preview. We're going to have tomorrow night a Leeds guest confirmed in the last 10 minutes. So we are going to have an opposition fan on the show. 7 p.m. until 7:30 tomorrow night for the West Ham versus Leeds preview. Evening to everybody in the chat. Right then, let's get our first guest on. Rich, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Yourself?
Not too bad. Mike, we know. Unfortunately, Rich is a Spurs fan. What about
that? Yeah, I've known Rich for a long time. Yeah, he's been a bit long-suffering like us, really, in a way, hasn't he?
Yeah, I suppose
I was just reading. I think it's 4,900 days since we last won something.
Well, we don't have that problem, Mike, because we won the Betway Cup in August. It's a trophy.
You count that?
No, of course we do. We don't count the Audi Cup because that's a rubbish name, but we count the Betway Cup, that's for sure. Right then, in terms of Spurs, how have you rated Spurs this season so far?
Mediocre. I mean, we managed to we played Manchester City first game, got a win. Don't think we played particularly well, but scored a goal and they weren't up and running, and I think that we played them at the right time.
Yeah.
After that, we scraped a couple of victories, both 1-0. I think we've managed one open play goal in the league. Up against Palace, we just didn't look like we were ever going to be any good there. Once we lost Tanganga, the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
And I think the season is looking dodgy, to say the least. I mean, Chelsea, we started well enough, but Chelsea just showed that they were a class above us. And I worry for the squad. I don't think the squad's good enough.
How do you feel about Harry Kane? Because for me, his head doesn't look totally on it. You know, it's a difficult one. I mean, he's been top goal scorer and he's been England's best striker. You know, I mean, it's hard to lose a guy like that. You know, and Tottenham didn't want to lose him, obviously. But I just look at him and I don't think his head's on it. You know, his head's somewhere else. You know, and it's. I think I've spoken to a few Spurs fans who said they wish they'd probably taken the money and he'd gone. You know, but.
Yeah, I think that's a view that works on the basis it's great if he goes and then Levy invests the money in someone else. Yeah. There is no guarantee that Levy will ever invest in anybody else or spend as much on somebody else. He might go out and get 4 or 5 lesser players and think that he's boosted the squad, but he isn't going to make us a goal scorer or a winner to the extent of Harry Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, Harry Kane is still scoring goals. I mean, he scored one last night and he took it well. I don't think his head's been there for a while, quite frankly. I don't think, not with just Tottenham, I don't think he's there with England sometimes. No. He doesn't seem to be, you know, when you compare him to one or two of the centre forwards out at the moment, and your bloke in particular up front there, your left back became a centre forward.
Right back, actually, right back, not left back.
Right back, okay. But, you know, he looks like he's on there and he's on, you know, he's going to give every fullback a hard game every game. Harry seems to be wobbling around in midfield and then just hoping that he might get something to sort of latch on to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's been at Spurs a long time. You would hope that he will get through that. I suspect that he's looking at January window and thinking, might I get a move again? Well, if Man City were looking, then I'd be looking at them and saying, well, do you really want somebody that's not really on the game at the moment?
Yeah. Right, we've got some donations in the chat. First time in a while. Steve, thank you very much for the quid and the £5 as well. Greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. And if you would like to support the channel further than just watching, liking and subscribing to the channel, you can become a channel member from just £3 a month, or you can help us out massively by becoming a legend member by clicking the link here with all information that is in the chat. Now, can I have a paper in the hand? Very funny, Daya. Very funny. This is cool, mate. Just gutted about the cricket. Oh well, we gave you a hammering, Luke. So you know, you had a proper thrashing on finals day. That's for sure. Football season now certainly goes. So I'm afraid we're going to smash Tottenham to bits. What do you make of that, Rich?
I think it's highly likely at the moment.
That's what I like to hear.
Albeit, if it goes to penalties, we bring a player off the bench who scores and you don't.
Cheeky that is. I hope you're well, Gary. Right then, let's get our next guest on. Ollie is a Liverpool fan, of course. Ollie, how are you?
Very well, Jake. How are you, my friend?
Not too bad, not too bad. Straight to you then, Ollie. What how have you rated your season so far? Rich, who's a Spurs fan, went mediocre. What are you going for in terms of Liverpool?
I'd say we're not firing on full cylinders yet. I think there's been like bits of magic where we've shown our class with, like, you know, especially the front three, Salah and Mane. They just pop up now and again with like magic goals rather than, you know, the consistency of what we saw 3 seasons ago and they were just banging them in for fun. But I mean, you can't be happy. I mean, other teams have obviously improved a lot. Chelsea have improved defensively. You know, they had a good game against us I think it was at Anfield when it was a 1-1, I believe.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can't. Yeah, we're still got joint top of the league, I think, aren't we?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're there fighting for it. So, you know, you've got to be pleased, haven't you, with the start? Can't we? Very pleased.
Yeah, definitely. Luke, you've got 3 Somerset fans on the screen. Somerset tried to help us 1 wicket away from topping the league. You can never call a derby game a derby game. You certainly can't. Rich, back to you. Carabao Cup last night, you scraped through on penalties. Nuno scraped past his former club on penalties. What did you make of the game in the highly prestigious and very important Carabao Cup?
Well, we did make 10 changes, which I think you did, but
yeah,
it's 2-0 up, chucked away a 2-0 lead, which really shouldn't do. Win it on penalties. As I said earlier, we brought Serge Reguilon off the bench and he scored the penalty, or a penalty. Noble didn't when he came on.
It's cheeky, he is cheeky.
But I mean, I don't know. I think it showed what we're about. Spurs are no more than probably a middle to top half sort of team this year. I can't see us doing anything more than that at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah,
of course I don't think our squad is strong enough.
Yeah, of course, Mike. You know, it's a massive cup. There isn't much bigger out there. The mighty Carabao Cup, Mike.
Yeah, I would have said that after before the draw we got afterwards was a little bit unkind to us, I think.
Honestly, I believe not being salty, but I believe these cup draws are rigged. Honestly, they are rigged. We get Man United in the FA Cup last year. We get Man United in the Carabao Cup this year, followed by Man City.
Oh God.
We'd never get decent draws, mate. I mean, but then if you're going to win it, you got to beat these teams, Jake. So
you have, yeah. Look out, so outside of the West Ham box comes back for another season where it's always a tasty one here. Arsenal v Spurs. Rich will be here. Spurs Arsenal preview. It's always tasty when the two clubs come together and the club's fans come together here in West Ham Unofficial. We're not going to go too much into that, Rich, but how important is that game, and do you think that it could, in a way, push you back 2 steps or, kick you on for the rest of the season?
Well, I'm hoping it'll kick us on, because Arsenal was a huge game for us, regardless of how poor they are or how poor we are. We need to win that match, and winning it will give us a boost. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Arsenal aren't the greatest team at the moment, and we've got a chance.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So we can announce exclusively for Sunday the lineups. And in the red corner or the white corner, I suppose you should say, the flying postman John Williams will be on Rich's side, and to be confirmed who is on the Arsenal side. Rich, thank you very much for coming on. Anything else you'd like to add before you go?
No, I think that's enough, and I'm glad we're one place ahead of you in the league still, which is
you wait, Rich.
End of the season.
Flying.
You wait, Rich. When it comes to Sunday morning, I'm going to say welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. It's two small clubs that are both below West Ham United in the league coming up against each other, and we will go from there. Rich, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, anything you'd like to ask Ollie before we go on in terms of Liverpool?
No, I thought, Liverpool are flying at the moment. I think they're doing really well. It's just the only thing that could upset them a little bit is when lose the African, the guys to the African Nation Cup. Because I think Salah is a big part of it. He is a fantastic player. There's no doubt about it. And he scored the majority of the goals last year, and I think he still scored the majority of goals for Liverpool again this year.
He is, that's right, yeah. I totally agree.
It'd be a miss for a few weeks, but it's only a few games, I think, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Very true.
Do you think you'll be able to cope with that, Ollie?
No, I agree with Mike. He's exactly right. Manny, he's top class, and he will be a miss. He's right. I mean, they do look like they're relying on Manny and Salah to come up with those magic goals. every now and again, which is what I was explaining to you earlier. We're not playing full flowing football as what we were seasons ago. We are relying at the moment. We're just relying on Manny and Salah to come up with those few goals. So I think a lot of it depends on what teams we play. If we're not playing any too stronger teams, I think we might be okay. Jota's obviously looking good, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you think rightly or wrongly, Liverpool will and have been labelled as a one-man team with perhaps Mo Salah or Van Dijk as being that one man?
Yeah, you can't really see a lot from like the midfield don't chip in with many goals. So you could say that. That's what they were saying 3 seasons ago, wasn't it? They said Liverpool were, without Van Dijk, they wouldn't have won the league. So I can see why some people say that, but I think they've still got a lot of quality in that Liverpool squad.
Yeah.
Let's
take some comments. First trophy of the season. We can win the League Cup. I go for it. We haven't won anything in 41 years. Yeah, we've got Man City, but we shouldn't fear anybody. We shouldn't fear anyone. Jake, stop it. They are not fixed. Sounds like a spud doing that. They are so frustrating. You can't lie. Luke says, Liverpool are desperate for Declan Rice. Their central midfield is their biggest weakness. Would you agree, Ollie?
I would absolutely love to have Declan Rice in Liverpool. Sorry, I know you don't want to hear that because you don't. But yeah,
cough up
Declan
120 million then, and we might discuss it.
Well, Liverpool aren't the type of club to pay that sort of money for players, are they? They'd rather make them out of low money. They haven't got as big as they don't have as big as wage bill as Man City and United and teams like that. But Declan Rice, I mean, he's world class. I mean, if he went to a club like Liverpool or City or somewhere like that, he'd show his class even more. What he's already doing at West Ham with better players around him. But I can't see Liverpool paying that type of money for him, though.
Yeah, I couldn't see that really. To be honest.
I mean, Henderson's good. I rate Jordan Henderson, but I think Declan Rice would be my number one over the two if they,
levels above him. Levels above him. Mike, thank you very much for coming on. I hope to see you later on for the West Ham bit soon.
See you later, guys.
Cheers, Mike. Bye bye.
Cheers, Mike. Cheers for coming on.
Let's get some guests in. Firstly, Steve, who is a Chelsea fan. I believe Steve, Chelsea are currently top of the league. How are you feeling with the season so far?
Alphabetically, yeah, we are.
Alphabetically, yeah.
Which I think is all it's based on, really. I mean, yes, it's been a good start to the season. There again, it should have been. The money we spent, why shouldn't we be doing better? I wasn't sure about Lukaku coming back. I've been proved wrong about that because he is a focal point. I'm not sure that the squad is correct yet. I think there's still some make weights in the squad that we could get rid of. But, overall, can't argue with it. Good start to the season, like you say. Ask me the same question about May the 11th, and I'll tell you how I feel.
yeah, definitely. This is a joke, but I still do think that Romelu Lukaku's a poor man's Mikel Antonio, personally. But that's just the way it is.
Well, yeah, not so poor though, is he?
Yeah.
Financially, anyway, he's not so poor. Very off. Yeah.
Let's bring our next guest on. Brentford are getting ready. They're preparing themselves mentally and physically for a battering at the London Stadium in a couple of weeks' time. Clive, I can see you're nervous already.
Oh, Jake, mate, you got a lot to learn. And what you will learn, mate, is just how to eat your words.
Oh, Joes, how are you feeling with your season so far?
Over the moon, mate. Over the moon. Our defence is rock solid, mate. Absolutely rock solid. My only concern is we're not scoring enough goals. I know we got 2 against Wolves on Saturday, but so far we got 5 goals. It's not enough. We need more. But apart from that, I'm over the moon with our season. We've got our biggest test on Saturday, though, home to Liverpool.
Definitely.
We got a tough run in, actually. We got Liverpool this week, then West Ham, the following week, then Chelsea, then Leicester. Those are 4 tough games. Well, 3 tough games and West Ham.
Knew that was coming. Here's a question then. Out of those 4 games, how many points would you take out of my hand now?
1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take 5.
Ooh, optimistic. I like that. Optimistic. Let's talk about the game then. Brentford versus Liverpool. Ollie, what are you expecting to see from Brentford?
I'm hoping. I don't know, Jake. It's difficult. I feel sorry for a club like Brentford because it's difficult whether to know to sit back. If I was Brentford, I mean, I'd probably try and park the bus. I don't know. So no offence to them. I think if they go out for the goal, I think Manor and Sally, no offence, they're going to eat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chad comes back. So
Clive, you were shaking your head at the words "park the bus" there.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, to be honest. It's difficult. No offence, but Liverpool, if you open up, they will pick you off.
I hear what you're saying, but I can't see us parking the bus. I really can't.
Do you think they're going to have a go? Do you think they're going to have a go? Do you make it interesting?
Of course we are. Yeah.
That's fair enough. I understand.
Right from the start, our manager and our owner has said we're not there to make up the numbers. We're there to compete.
I suppose. Yeah.
If competing is going toe to toe with the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea and Man U, then so be it.
Yeah.
So be
and
it.
West Ham. Don't forget West Ham Club. Ollie, before I let you go, just one final question. Of course, you're in the Champions League for another season. What would you like Jurgen Klopp to prioritise, the Champions League or the Premier League?
I think the Premier League. League. That's what we've only won it once. We're getting a lot of stick saying we're not going to do it again for another 30 years or so. We're champions of Europe 6 times. So I'd like to win the Premier League again, but it's going to be difficult. Man United, they've got Ronaldo, so they're going to be there.
Man United won't win it, Ollie. Man United won't win it.
They're going to win it. I think Liverpool's going to win it.
Oh, thank you. Ollie, thank you very much for coming
You're
on.
welcome, Jake.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Oh, Christ, that's gone a bit weird. Steve, coming to you. Another penalty shootout drama last night in the Carabao Cup. What did you make of it? 1-1, and then was it a 4-3 win on penalties, I think, over Aston Villa last night?
Yeah, 4-3 on penalties. I'm not a great fan of a penalty shootout. I think it should be played at the beginning of the game. There's controversy for you. Have every cup game penalty shootout at the beginning. Great entertainment for the fans because it doesn't make any difference at that point. No pressure for the players. They're all relaxed. And then actually in the last 15 minutes of the game, the team that lost the penalty shootout would go hell for leather to win. It's my own thing that I've had for many years. And I think, Jake, that I referee kids football. And I actually think that in kids football, it should always be at the beginning. I don't think kids should be put in the situation where they've lost the game because they've missed a penalty after an hour and 20 minutes of play or whatever they play. So penalty shootouts are not my greatest favourite anyway, but it's always nice to win one. I'll always take a win on penalty shootouts rather than a loss.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's an interesting shout. I'm going to scroll up and take some of your comments. Rice has slightly more attacking threat than Hendo, definitely. In the last few years, I haven't rated Henderson massively. He's a good player, but Declan Rice is just levels above him.
Henderson only seems to be able to look backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Negative mindset. Luke says, I have to say, Chelsea are my favourite team to watch out of the Big Four. A little bit nasty and pacey. They always beat Spurs. That was lovely.
Nasty? It's Millwall that's nasty.
Good shout. Brentford will be the better of the teams to stay up. Would you agree, Clive?
Yeah, obviously, without a doubt.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What you got to remember, Jake, with Brentford is they've got a good manager there who has gone under the radar. If that manager had been anywhere else, you only got to look at the likes of Valerian Ismail, who was at Barnsley, and he's now gone to West Brom. All those sort of up-and-coming managers, if you want to call them that, have been snaffled off somewhere else. So you've got to give Brentford credit for, A, keeping their manager under the radar, and their chairman actually just obviously batting off any inquiries and saying, no, you're not having him. I watched the EFL for a couple of years, and I watched Thomas Frank, and he's a good, solid manager. I think they'll do well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't think Brentford would go straight back down anyway. It looks like Norwich pretty much are set to go back down again. I can't see Brentford going down because, yet again, it's been a solid start for you, Clive. And to be honest with you, you come up, you've got Liverpool next, you've got a really tough few fixtures. Do you think in a month's time when you've played all them fixtures, it'll be better idea to see, you could give a better understanding and a better, degree of where you're going to be?
Just get Christmas out of the way.
Yeah.
And then we'll know just how good we really are. Because December, we've got it's a horrendous amount of fixtures, and it's against Man U, Tottenham, all the big ones. That is, this month coming and December are two very hard months for us. But so far, I know we haven't played any of the big boys, but so far I have seen nothing whatsoever for us to be scared of. So-called big leap in standard or quality from the Championship to the Premier League. I've not seen it, mate. It's either not there or we've already made that step up and it's just been so seamless. We're competing, we're taking the ball off of the other teams, we're defending so greatly as well. Where's the step up in class? I haven't seen it, mate.
I think
but we haven't played any big teams yet.
I'm going to say
Apart from Arsenal.
the measure's going to be when you've gone halfway through the fixture list.
Yeah.
Then you'll really know where you sit, because we all know there's effectively sort of 2.5 Premier Leagues effectively, aren't there? There's the top 8, if you want to call it that, top 8, top 9. There's the middle 6, and then there's the bottom 5, if that makes 20. I haven't even added it.
Yeah, I would have said there's the top 6, and then there's everyone else. Because you take your top 6, and then everyone else. Like West Ham last season had a great season, didn't they? Sheffield United the season before had a great season, but then they dropped back down, and Leeds had a good season last year. Then the other 20, the other 14 teams just seem to swap places on a regular basis, and I don't think there's too much between them.
There's also that thing about first season, you take the likes of Sheffield United and Leeds, first season back in the Premier League, they sort of caught a lot of teams out for the way the style they played and how they played. Second season is interesting because Sheffield United fell apart because people worked out how to play them, and Leeds are having such a great season. Teams worked out how to play them. And I think, Brentford's ace in the hole, if you want to call it that, is the fact that you play a refreshing football and you can go and play anybody and you're not scared of them. Next season, which I firmly believe will be in the Premier League, will be different because clubs will have probably worked out how to play you. So it could be different next season. I still think you'll manage next season okay as well.
Yep. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah. Just one on Ivan Toney, Clive. What do you think the stance is with the Brentford board with these really, really valuable players like your Rico Henrys, your Ivan Toneys? Could you see, what's for you? Let's just talk about Ivan Toney. If a big came in from, I don't know, whether it was West Ham or a big side in January, what are you taking, or do you think it's time to stop selling players and keep hold of these viable players like Ivan Toney?
He won't be going anywhere in January, mate. Absolutely guarantee. Come the summer, might be a different matter. You'd have done 2 seasons with us. Our board have always said we're a selling club. We'll always be a selling club. We'll never, ever compete with Man U, Chelsea, any of them. Never, ever. You can bet your bottom dollar that they're already looking at a replacement for Ivan Toney. And they're scouting him because he will go. There's no question on that. He will go. Whether he goes at the end of the season, I don't know. Depends what we do. Depends how many goals he scores. Depends if he goes a season without getting injured. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes, Jake. Wouldn't be surprised. His game against Wolves on Saturday, he was absolutely immense. He showed why he's so great. It wasn't just the way he scored. It wasn't the fact that he made an assist. He also runs back and defends as well. He can tackle in defence. He's an immense player, absolutely immense. When we sold Ollie Watkins, it was like, oh my God, how are we going to replace him? Ivan Toney's far, far better, and that's no disrespect to Ollie Watkins at all.
Yeah. Just to finish off, of course, Steve, you've got a massive game in the Premier League at the weekend. You take on Man City. Are you confident?
So that'll be the side we beat in the Champions League final, will it?
True.
It's an interesting season, I think, for Man City. They were a little bit bloodied last season. Things didn't go according to plan last season, and from what I've seen, they're intending to come out fighting this season with getting results. So I think it'll be a close game. I would say home advantage, but I don't think in the Big Six. I don't think home advantage has any effect whatsoever. I think the Big Six, when they play home or away, play exactly the same. It's going to be close. I'd like to think we can take a 2-1 win. Be quite nice. I think. Yeah. Our defence is tight. I think wasn't the Aston Villa goal the first goal we've let in this season or something? Oh no, we're letting at Liverpool. So we're not letting goals in, and we're scoring. And if we keep doing that, you're going to win games, aren't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's take some comments, and then we will let you two.
Don't take Daya's comment. It's ridiculous.
We will come down to that in just a second. Troy McKiss says Newcastle every year. I say they'll be leaving the Prem. Newcastle look poor, and Wilson out injured again. Yeah, they do. There's always one team that brings the fight up with them, and this year is Brentford. Luke says problem Brentford have is 3 injuries and a suspension. Away to a Burnley or Southampton is where they need to pick up points. Gaza says if St Maximin gets injured, then who have Newcastle got? Not much. Troy McKee says you haven't played Liverpool like the conference, but as a Bournemouth fan, I know it's totally different playing Prem football to the top 6. Spurs always killed us. Gaza says I think the lead this year is between Liverpool and Chelsea. Luke says it is that squeaky bum time when you are happy with a point. Sometimes that is where Bruce and Dyche earn their money. Definitely. Ken says Christian Norgard has definitely has been probably Brentford's most impressive player this season. Scott's happy to see you, Brentford Clive. Day is saying Tony to West Ham. Confirmed here. That's a joke. It's a joke.
You couldn't afford him, mate. You couldn't afford him.
Well, we will just have to wait and see what happened. There we go. That is down to the bottom of the comments. I'd like to say huge thank you, Steve and Clive, for coming on.
No worries.
Thanks for having us, Jake.
Thank you very much. And let's go straight in with it. Here we go. Let's bring our first 2 in. Andy, firstly, how are you?
Very tired, mate. Very, very tired. It's been a long week. But no, I'm good, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad. Still buzzing off last night's victory. I can't lie. I'm still a little bit shocked. I can't lie. And James, how you feeling?
Good, mate. Karma is beautiful. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah, we will come on to it in a second. And let's bring our other 2 guests on. Big panel tonight. Firstly, Gary, how are you?
I'm good, Jake. What a night.
What a night. We'll get onto it in a second. And I'm joined back with Mike as well. Mike, how are you?
Good.
How you doing,
Good. How we doing, guys? All right?
Not bad, thanks,
Not too
mate.
bad. Not too bad.
Good,
Right
good.
then, let's go over last night's game. Andy, we'll start with you. Overview of it. Any players that caught your eye?
Diop. As me and James were talking about. We've been saying it as well. I was in the comments on Daya's show earlier. I've said that since Zuma's come in as well, how much Diop's improved. He was solid. The crucial defense, the header he done in the last minute. him and Dawson look like they played each other for so long. But the one who I'm pleased for the most is Jared Bowen, because a lot of the fan base have been on his back. Oh, he's not scoring goals, but what he does for the team is second to none. And obviously, Crow and Ariola, what a debut to make.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to come on because I would like a specific mention a little bit later on to talk about Jared Bowen, because I thought he was exceptional. James, over to you. What did you make of it?
It's a Diop, mate. As I said it before, and all I try and do is talk sense to people. Issa needs loving. He needs good players around him, and he will get better. And we signed this man, and you don't get touted for 65 million many years ago to go to Manchester United. So, yeah, over the moon. Yes, last night. Obviously, I've got a Manchester United partner, so I had to give it to her last night, most definitely. But now, listen, Crowell's debut, excellent. Diop was just mint, was really, really good, I must admit. Jared Bowen, do you know what? I don't care if he don't score a goal all season, but if he assists loads of goals, that's like scoring a goal to us. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, really, really pleased last night. Did I expect it? No, but we do love surprises, West Ham, I must admit.
Yeah. Gary, what did you make of it?
Well, I agree with the other guys. I mean, I don't want to repeat what they said. I mean, the 2 points I made, I thought Ben Johnson was good, playing out of position again.
Yes.
Left back, you know, for a right-footed lad. The other thing was interesting. I was watching the game, and I was thinking these are two B squads, but really, how many Man United players would we take in our team? Probably maybe two. Lingard, you'd take. Van der Beek, I like. But other than that, I thought our B team better than their B team. So I think they've invested a lot of money in the first 11, as you saw on Sunday. They've got some good players. But I think our squad is probably better than theirs, I would go to say. In the way we played last night, I thought we were comfortable. Old Trafford, as you can be, they never really looked like scoring. I thought we played really well. Proud to be a Hammer.
Yeah, definitely. Mike, you came on the review last night. Of course, the fantastic fans that travelled up there. We did sell out a Premier League allowance on a Wednesday night in Manchester for a Carabao Cup game with our B side. Hats off to every single person that went up to Old Trafford last night. Absolutely exceptional. Mike, you slept on it. You had your thoughts on the review last night. Anything else to add? Anything else to add on reflection?
Yeah, I mean, no, I said it last night, but I mean, the fans are just so happy for them. You know, I was one of them sat there having to listen to them celebrating, you know, right next to me at the end on Sunday. And I'm just so glad that those guys went out there and give it some back. And they were just awesome. 10 out of 10 for the fans. Singing, you could hear them the whole time. You know, I know it's just great. Absolutely brilliant for those guys who put themselves out. Probably didn't get home till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, fantastic, mate. A great team performance. Gary just popped on one. I thought Ben Johnson played really well. I heard a couple of people were knocking him, but you got to keep remembering he's playing at left back. He's playing out of position. He crossed a couple of good balls with his left foot. He gave the ball away once, which could have been costly, but he didn't get much help there. He was in trouble. He had 2 men around him. Hey, a lot of great performances yesterday. Fredericks as well. Shame about him getting injured. But
Arthur as well. I thought he played well.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't look totally fit, but hey, the guy's got to get minutes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Definitely. Let's scroll up and take some comments. Ken says, buzzing for Leeds on Saturday. I think we will do them on the break. They come perfectly into our hands. They're going to come at us. They got so many injuries. But preview tomorrow night for the Leeds game. So we're not going to talk about it now. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, before Friday night pint. Almost a Friday night pint build up for tomorrow here, and then we will hand it over. Cathal, I hope you're well, using the fantastic West Ham unofficial custom emojis. Big Craig Dawson's being used there. A mention for Craig Dawson. He was given, and rightfully so, he was given the TV Carabao Cup Man of the Match award. And as you can see, Craig is absolutely buzzing. Anything you'd like to ask Craig, guys?
Yeah, where did he get his teeth done from?
That is very confidential information, he says.
How much did he have to pay to get the man to match?
He says
You know what I mean?
he says it was perfectly valid, and he said on West Ham Unofficial, I said to you before the game, I would be man of the match. He said I would slay Ronaldo. Ronaldo wasn't on the pitch, so I slayed Lingard.
Martial.
He weren't happy. He weren't happy, was he, Lingard, yesterday?
No. He was
Especially
right
what
on
we
it.
were singing to him as well. I don't know whether you see what we were singing to him on Twitter. I don't expect he was too happy with that. There were some inventive songs being sung around as well that we've seen on Twitter, which were quite funny today as well. Let's scroll down comments, have a little look.
Well, yeah, that's what everyone was saying, weren't they? A lot of Manchester fans travelled from London all the way up there, and they got defeated as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Good shout.
Yeah, see, Kent is right again. It looks like Issa Diop is a Rolls Royce. I've always said it. Kent has always said it. I haven't backed him all the time. I can't lie to you, but it seems like he's coming good with some decent partners by his side.
It's confidence, Jake.
nowadays.
It's confidence. It's the same as
Yeah.
any player. When a player's
Yeah.
got confidence, they're different gravy.
Yeah.
What it is though, he can relate to Zuma. That's the $1 million thing. When you look at Zuma's 26. I think Diop's 24. I think.
24.
Yeah, and basically, look what Kirk Zuma's done in his career, and look what Issa Diop's done in his career, and it's like Diop's there, mate. He can do it, and I've got full faith he can. I just need people to start believing him and not criticising him when he don't header a ball away. Right, do you know what I mean? Because last night, one thing I will say, he headed absolutely everything away.
He did.
Last night in the air.
He did.
I thought it was brilliant.
This is going to probably cause some controversy. Do you reckon it as well? He played better because Areola was in goal as well. Because I know he was flappy, but Areola does command his box a bit better as well. I'm not just making that as I'm just trying to think of other reasons why it was a bit different.
Areola in the first half, I thought was poor. I did.
Yeah.
I think his kicking was poor. I thought he was coming out and he was like slapping balls away. And I'm thinking, well, what are you doing? Like I never see that for them last year, right? But second half, I don't know what happened at half time, but I think someone had a word with him and said, "Listen, just calm down, chill. We know you're a decent player. Do you know what I mean? Sort yourself out."
Definitely.
And I must admit, second half he come out, he was kicking the ball out well, and he done some good saves and possibly. But do you know what? It's nice to see Diop doing well because he's had a lot of flack. Do you know what I mean? And some of it is justified, and some of it is just criminally not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about the debutants then, Gary. We had Crow and Areola. What did you make of them?
I thought Crow was very competent, very steady. I liked him. I think he can certainly be a backup for Souček, who looks a bit tired in my view, so he can do with a couple of games off. So that's nice to see. Areola, apart from that dodgy punch, I don't know what he was doing with that punch. I thought he was okay.
Could have saved that.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. That was very strange. He must have learned that at PSG, I guess. And then who else was debut? Just Crow and Areola, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think they're both good additions to the squad. I think. I like.
I'll tell you one player that no one's mentioned yet, and I thought he played brilliant, was Noble.
Oh,
I thought
he was brilliant. Did you see him at the end when he had that interview? He said he ain't got so far forward in 10 years. He said.
I've got to admit, he did worry me once he got that card. He was going to get sent off. That's the only thing I will say. I was like, Mark, just don't do nothing stupid. Mark, go on. I was like, that's the only thing I would.
Fair to him, Andy.
When Noble was running forward, he
didn't
was
make any
away
silly
from
ones
Man
after
United.
that, did he?
I don't know who that was. He must be really slow because Noble was putting away from him.
I think that was Lindelof, Gary. I think that was Lindelof. I've never seen him run so quick.
He just went past him like he weren't there. It was brilliant.
He was running away, and I thought that Man United player's not going to catch him. He must be the slowest player in the world.
Yeah, I know. It was brilliant. Yeah. A couple of things. We're going to come on to Bowen in a minute, but one thing about the goalkeepers, Mark, I'm going to come to you first. Who should be our number one now? Is it Areola or is it Fabianski?
I think Areola wants another game, probably in the Europa League or something like that. Fab, he hasn't been brilliant so far this season. He's let a few goals in. He's made a couple of mistakes, but he's been steady enough. And Moyes' stick I can see why he's stuck with him because, let's face it, he's been a great servant to us. But I think Areola just wants a couple more games, probably in a couple of cup games, get some confidence on board. I think the first game at Man United was always going to be a difficult one for him, even though it was two B teams. It's still Old Trafford, 70-odd thousand people there. His first game, he had nerves. I think we just got to feed him in gradually, give him the odd game here and there, and hope he performs, and eventually he become number one, I think.
Yeah, Andy, who's your number one?
I'm not too fussed about this season, mate. To be honest, when Areola's called upon, if he does well, I think he knows he's number one next year. So I don't think it's bothering him that, unless something dramatic happens, like a bigger club comes in for us. But I think we've got the obligation anyway. But it's just nice to see. It just reminds me of Chelsea years ago when they had Cech and Kuzaccini. When you have two good goalkeepers, like what more can you ask for? And then if not, we've got Martin. We've got a chance.
Martin Go. Oh God, those were the days. Those were the days. James, I've got a feeling I know who you're going to say, Areola or Fabianski.
After what I see yesterday, like a mixed bag, sort of first half awful, second half good. You got to go with Fab at the minute. I thought Fab got really bad criticism, and what I see on different platforms, everything on Sunday, and he kept us in the game. If you watch the game back, he saved Bruno Fernandes's shot, pushed it onto the post, 1-on-1 with Ronaldo. He saved that. He done as best as he could. And let's be honest, the two goals that they scored, one was a tap in, and the other one was a weldy. So it's not like he's made any howlers. Areola is the better goalkeeper. He is. He's younger and he's better. But I would have liked to have seen it the other way around. I would have rather had Fab in Europe or League Cup games and Areola in the league. And I think the way they've done it is not right, in my opinion. I think Fab would, especially last season, getting us into the Europa League, he deserves to play in Europe at best. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got us there. But I would have preferred to have Areola in the league. The problem is I don't see it now. All I see is Areola playing League Cup games and possibly FA Cup. Fab plays everything else. So for me, at present, until Fab makes an absolute howler, I just don't think Fab gets moved.
Yeah. Gary, who are you going for?
I couldn't agree more. I think Fab has got the shirt. I thought on Sunday he played really well. I thought the save when he pushed the drive to Fernandes on the post was a great save. The one-on-one with Ronaldo right at the start of the second half was a great save as well. I don't think he's done anything wrong. He doesn't deserve to be dropped, I don't think, at the moment. And I agree, we've got two great goalkeepers. I've been a West Ham fan a long time. I remember Sasa Ilic and Perry Suckling and all these great goalkeepers of the past. So,
who was the other one? Lama. Is it Lama?
Bernard
Lamar.
The French smoker, they used to call him.
Yeah.
I was at some part to see Sasa Ilic. You there that day? We lost 4-0.
Yeah.
Jesus.
God. One thing, I'm coming to you first, Gary, on this. I'm just going to find it. Controversy from Luke. Luke says, Krell's passing and energy looks better than Souček last night. I'm inclined to agree, but I'm not blaming Souček because of the amount of games and just what's on his plate at the moment. Gary, to you first.
I agree. I mean, Souček looks knackered. I mean, the Czech Republic played 3 games over that break, including one meaningless friendly. The guy's absolutely shattered. He played every minute for us last season. He just needs a break. I think give him a couple of weeks off, lie on the beach somewhere in Prague, wherever's hot in the Czech Republic, and come back and he'll be refreshed. I think Souček's a better player than Kral, in my opinion. But at the moment, he just needs a break. I fully agree, he needs a break. I'd put Kral in for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. How are you feeling about it, Mike? Do you think Souček needs to be rested for Kral for a couple of games?
Yeah, possibly. He's not been at it this year. That's true. But like Gary said, the amount of games he's played it's been so many, and he's, in the Euros and these games again for the Czech Republic, he's been playing every minute nearly. So the guy needs a bit of a rest. I thought Kral did okay. Last night. He's gonna. He's not going to go and attack the box like Souček does. He's a different sort of player. But it gives a chance to release someone else to go and do that job. It wouldn't hurt to give him a rest. Whether it's against Leeds on Saturday, I don't know. I'm not sure. Sure.
Yeah. Andy, do you sit him out or do you keep him in and just stick with your more Souček?
Me, I would play Souček Saturday.
Yeah.
And rest him again on the home game. And if needed, you can bring him on. If not, I'll tell you what, I'll be excited to see them as a free Rice, Souček, and Kral. We can definitely change the system. I think that could work well.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. James, what are you thinking?
I agree with Andy there. On Saturday, set pieces, we can kill Leeds with set pieces because they just can't defend from set pieces. And our 2 goals last season we scored were from set pieces up there. So, yeah, I thought Kral was very good. Like, I'm seeing people saying about we need players to bed in and all that on certain individuals. He didn't need bedding in, mate. He looked like he'd been there for years. Like, do you know what I mean? He was about the pitch. And Joe, what I liked about him, and what I did like, and I haven't seen it with West Ham for a hell of a long time, is that he would buy us time. He would take a foul. If the boys are out of position, he would knock the geezer over, not do nothing too malicious, but he'd barge him off the ball, referee will blow up for a foul, and then basically what he does like a Fernandinho type role, breaks play up, and I don't think he minds taking a booking either. I agree with the 4-3-3. I do like that, I must admit, and I think it'll give Rice license to go forward. But in the grand scheme of things, I thought for his first game, I thought he was absolutely first class. And let's be honest, he was up against Donny van der Beek, and who's X amount of pounds and message, and he sort of run the show for him.
Yeah, let's take some comments and then we will move on. Diop seems great around the club. Never see him moaning or complaining. League game, Noble don't last 90 minutes and gives away a penalty, but played well. Fred said, love Fab to bits, but Areola makes him look wooden. Kral needs a few more games. There is a potential there. That ended the Man United player's career, outpaced by Yarmolenko. I don't know how he did that. Guys said, Fab for me, Areola has to stop making Superman saves. Keppel says, Fab hasn't done enough wrong to get fully dropped. Have to be loyal the next little while. I'd say Moyes will keep him in anyway. Souček has looked tired since the Euros. He has. Gaza says, he liked Kral. You cannot forget Daza Randolph. Cannot forget good old Randolph.
I'm just trying to find that picture as well. What you saw, Noble at full time. I was just going to. I think a few people may have seen it with him, and you see Man United on the floor, but with Kral like that when they're both like that, you could tell how much it meant to him as well. So yeah, definitely. Yeah.
NWO says Fabianski has to make a clanger to get dropped. He made 2 world-class saves on Sunday. Gaza says Randolph has to go. He didn't get us Lingard over the line there. Agent Randolph. Luke says, I'm not bashing Souček because his goals have been so important, but his passing range has always been poor. Love his attitude and strength. Crowd gives us options. It just puts a little bit extra into David Moyes' back of his head. Probably Fab's last season since NWO. Roberto, don't remind me. Lou says Lama was brilliant in FIFA 98.
Yeah, about it.
Terex9, hope you well. If you're new around here, like and subscribe for sure. My first match since 2019 was last night at Old Trafford. Hard to dish any criticism to the team. Even Yarmolenko didn't play too badly. Definitely.
Still couldn't score though, could he?
No.
Here we go. Sums it
You
up
say that through
perfectly.
gritted teeth like that. Yeah.
WHU58 sums it up perfectly. Yarmolenko did seem to work hard yesterday, but he still can't finish a bowl of cornflakes. We're going to come on to all of that and more in just a second. But before we do that, James, I'm going to come to you first. Give your channel a plug because the link is now in the chat again.
Well, if you want to come over, I've got some betting advice for the weekend football, or me just rambling on about West Ham. If you like what I say, I'm controversial, but I'm trying to be as straight down the line as I can be. And like, you know what I mean? E20 Zone TV, go and check it out, because if I'm not there, I'm here or I'm elsewhere. So do you know what I mean? Check it out.
Yeah. And Andy?
Yeah, I'm a part of the West Ham United family. I can confirm me and Jazz, not this Tuesday, the Tuesday after, we're actually going to do recording at the old Upton Park. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. Going to have pie and mash, liquor, going to Boleyn as well, where we used to sit. So yeah, we're reuniting the old West Ham with the new. And yeah, and if you love talking about West Ham, me and Jazz are doing a post-match discussion at 9 o'clock as well for all of the late people if you're around.
Love it. Let's take some more comments. Gaza says another transfer window, and I think Moyes will have a team he wants. The ball will be shaking, waiting for Moyes to knock on their door. Luke says need to draw a team in Ukraine and Europa. Yarmolenko hat-trick. Tekka says the atmosphere was great. Voice was a little croaky and sore this morning from all the singing. Yeah, we sounded loud in there. Right then, lots of things to discuss, not enough time to do it. We'll start with Yarmolenko. He tracked back. You know, you all know I'm not his best and biggest fan, but you've got to give him praise where praise is due. Last night, I thought he tracked back. He defended to as much as his powers. Yes, he should have scored because he missed a near open goal, but we'll move past that. But he did more than I expected. James, you're smiling. We'll come to you first.
I just love it that you're praising him up, mate. That's the first time someone clip that. Someone clip it.
Somebody will. You'll clip it, James.
I know. I will clip it. Now, listen. Yeah, he done all right last night, but I'll tell you what the difference is when you got Antonio there and Antonio's not there. The drop from Antonio down to our next sort of, let's be honest, he is a striker, Yarmolenko. He's massive. He's massive. Last night, I can't fault him, mate. He done all right. He was a nuisance. He was getting on the ball. He was trying to make things happen. Maybe this is his level, though. League Cup, B team. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't believe he does anything in the Prem. Like, I think against good teams, he's bang average at best, mate. Do you know what I mean? But I can't knock him. He done well. Get him in Europe. Get him in League Cup. Get him in the FA Cup. And that's a player of our first team who we can sort of say, you know what, give him a chance there.
Yeah, Mike, Yarmolenko, is there something there, or am I praising him a little too much?
Well, I don't know, mate. I think, like James just said, I think we needed him. We had to hang on to him. There's no point in getting rid of the guy because we needed a squad, and he's going to do a job in Europe. He's going to do a job in the cup games. There's a lot of teams who would like to have Yarmolenko coming off of the bench for them, or even in their starting lineup in the Premier League. There is, honestly. I know not the top half of the league, but you know the bottom half would like him. He is dangerous. He does do stupid things at times. He tries that little flick that does my head in. I was throwing things about when he was doing little things like that last night. But hey, you know, give him his due. He did okay last night. He did all right.
Yeah. Gary, what did you make of him?
I agree with James and Mike. I think he's a bottom half Premier League player. I think he was terrible on Sunday. I thought when he came on, awful. Yeah. You know, he added nothing. But last night, I thought he was very good. He put himself around. The thing that annoys me about him, he's for a big bloke. He wins nothing in the air ever.
It's true.
He's a big. And also, someone more should get a psychologist or whatever it is and tell him he played for Ukraine, and then he'll be fine. Because when he played for Ukraine in the summer, who's that?
That is brilliant.
I think he comes through the airport and the scanner comes down, and we get like the Hackney Marshes Yarmolenko, and not
when he comes
back. One. Yeah.
I was watching him in the Euros. I thought, who the fuck's that? And it was Yarmolenko. It was amazing.
Andy, you and me both made that Royce smile and when Gary mentioned Sunday for Yarmolenko. We're not going to talk about that because I've talked about it too much and it winds me up. But what did you make of him on yesterday?
Mate, he was good yesterday. Like you said, he done everything but score. Like that's pretty much the best way to sum it up. The thing what worries me is he must have known how crap he was on Sunday, so he thinks I need to made an effort yesterday, and then the next game we're going to get Man United Yarmolenko again. If we get like the Sunday Yarmolenko, I mean, if we get Wednesday Yarmolenko for over half the games for the rest of the season, I'll take that, and then bye at the end of the season, Jake. Only a few more months, Jake. That's all we've got, mate.
I know. Jake was nearly singing a Yarmolenko song. I was far from it. I can't lie. I got a little bit excited when he cut back onto his left foot, and I thought, "Oh, hello. If he scores here, I'm going to go ballistic times 10." But he didn't. What a surprise!
That's the shot that went out for a throw-in, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, that one. The one against Crystal Palace, that went to Upton Park. The one against Southampton, that went to Portsmouth, and that one nearly went to City. That one, they just keep on going. They just keep on going. Gaza says you can't turn it on and off like a tap. Yarmolenko has to be on it when called upon. I agree. Wrong comment. We'll come back to that one. Caffel says, I think Yarmolenko is the kind of player to perform better as a starter. He can't get up to speed off the bench. Some players are just like that. Yeah, I agree. Wonder what Jake would have thought about Roger Johnson, Benny McCarthy, etc. I think he was spared the pain. Max says Yarmolenko is the most left-footed player I've ever seen. He can't even dribble with his right foot. Never seen someone avoid it so much. Gaza says Moyes won't start. Moyes won't start with Yarmolenko unless we have injuries. Yeah, not in a big game. Peter says notice Yarmolenko doing a fair job around our box on a few occasions. Simon, evening lads, sorry I'm late, was enjoying my curry. You can't just leave it there, Simon. What curry was it? Was it nice? Give it a rating out of 10. And what was the curry? Come on, you got to let us know. Right, 2 things let us talk about. We will leave Jarrod Bowen to last. Our fixtures were announced for November in the Premier League. Daria, will come to you first. Our 2 fixtures in the look at Andy. Our 2 fixtures in the Premier League for November are Liverpool at home and Manchester City away. And we've got Man City away in the Carabao Cup as well. But after last night, we'd take anyone on, surely.
We would, but that's a tough November for sure. I think Liverpool, City twice. But I mean, we need to have an inquiry about our draws, because there's 6 times in 6 years we play City or United. It's just a fix. There must be like a little magnet, the Harry Redknapp's wedding ring or something, as he puts it. Ding, there you go. Out it comes. You beat Man United away. Let's give you Manchester City. You think, God Almighty, it's unbelievable. So no, we got some tough fixtures. But if we keep everybody fit, I like the positivity around the camp. Everyone seems to be together. You saw at the end of the game, everybody was together. The subs were together. Even Diop, as you said, had many games, but he was really happy. No seems to be linking them all together. So I think we keep injury free. We can give them all a game. So let's hope Moyes plays in a positive way as he has been this season and doesn't sit back and defend. Let's see what we do.
Yeah, definitely. Right, here we go. Most important part of the show. 10 out of 10. Chicken, tikka, Buddha, mushroom rice, Peshawari naan, and 6 pop. 6? I've been called a poppadoms.
Where's the barges? Where's the barges, Simon?
6 poppadoms?
Where's the
There's
barges?
nothing worse. There's nothing worse than talking about food when you're starving.
Oh, we apologise, James.
Well, I had the Zinger popcorn chicken bucket today.
Are they?
Yeah.
Is it nice?
They're hot. They are
Are
hot.
they?
Yeah. It was nice.
Lovely. Lovely.
I'm not going to get any food out of this last pack of crisps.
You're a magician, just like you.
Yeah.
WHU58 says, I wonder what Moyes said to Yarmolenko to get him play better yesterday. I don't know. Right, before we carry on, something I mentioned at the start of the show that lit Mike's eyes up is October the 1st. Something's going to be sprinkled on you, some exciting channel news. So what you've got to do is subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified, because something's going to be fizzled in there, and you can tell Mike's excited because his eyes are lighting up.
I'll be doing it from my Sunland during Ibiza, Jake, just for you.
I can't wait when you come back, because there's another little thing coming in the works as well. Can't wait for you to come back on that show that we're going to do, and I want you to be fully tanned in the face. I want you to be like tanned.
Like Madge from Benidorm?
Yeah. Just completely tanned all over.
Completely tanned in your speedos.
They've already packed, Gary. They've already packed.
Yeah.
SharePoint carry for one. I'm now clearing up so the missus can't see me. I've even turned the Ring doorbell off so she couldn't say I've got curry. She could just poke, but I can't be asked to eat that.
Oh God.
Oh my God, Simon!
Who's got Simon on? Where's Scott? Scott, you got Simon on Facebook. Tag that comment in. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is brilliant.
Next comment you see is my missus just thrown the spag bowl over me.
Straight on the face, straight there. Oh, that is brilliant. I forgot where we got to. Where did we get to? We were talking about.
You were talking about the 1st of October and how amazing you was.
The fixtures. Who wants to say anything before we move on to Jared Bowen? Anyone?
The fixtures. Well, by then we would have had 3 Europa League games in it, or even 4. I think it would have been. So hopefully we'll be well and truly done in the Europa League and just see out the last 2 games. Obviously, we've got to play everyone, gentlemen, and like we're going to have to play them eventually. So it doesn't matter when. The only difference is that obviously I think they're both on a Sunday. One's at 2:00 and one's on at 4:30. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we get on. But yeah, what? Bring them on. That's what I say.
Yeah, no, I think that's the thing. What does me is I understand that they need to do it on but I don't think there's nothing worse. Like the home games still don't. I'd rather a Monday night game than a Sunday. Sunday games I just can't get excited for. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's good that we are like our next game next week. Obviously we've got Rapid and then we've got Brentford, and we're at home. Like I think a lot of these games are sort of falling for us because they're home fixtures on the Sunday. Like if we luckily we had their furthest journey and that was Newcastle away in the first game of the season. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we haven't got to go anywhere miles and miles, and even if it is a London derby, it's not like we've got to travel far. So one way, it works out well for us. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Right then, let's go on to the main attraction. We'll start at the bottom of the screen and then we will go up. Jared Bowen. Now, I'll say my piece first. I wasn't as fantastic as fan. That's not even a word, but it is now. Fantastic is, I can't even say it. Fan, great fan last year of him, to be honest with you. But this season, he's just gone from strength to strength. You know, whether he's playing right wing, whether he's playing down the middle, whether he's playing a striker, he just seems to be thriving off everything. And he showed it in the 2 games against Man United. How good's Jared Bowen been so far this season? We'll go to Mike first.
Fantastic, mate. Last night. It's the only thing I can knock him for, and you can't expect him to hold the ball up like Antonio. He hasn't got the build for it for a start. But my God, he held it up. He ran in the channels. He took people on. He kept the ball when we needed him to keep the ball. He was superb last night. I mean, he led the line so well. I think almost with Antonio not being there, he sort of relishes that. He knows he's the man. You know what I mean? He's the main man. And yeah, he caused them all sorts of trouble last night. And I know there's a lot of teams sniffing around and Liverpool and a few others are interested, but we got to keep hold of this guy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He's improving game on game.
Yeah, definitely. Gary, anything else you want to add on Bowen?
No, I agree with Mike 100%. I think he's improved a lot from last season already. I think he's getting better and better. He seems eager to learn. I mean, that's a hard position to play up front on your own, especially at Old Trafford. And he ran them ragged. He was everywhere. I mean, I haven't seen his heat map, but I imagine he literally ran everywhere across that front third. He was incredible. I was really, really impressed with him. I hope he gets a goal soon because that'll probably start to drain his confidence. He needs one to go in off his arse or something just to get him going. But I think he's really good. Him and Declan are still improving. I think they're both young, so I know we won't keep Rice, but if we can keep Bowen for a couple of years, it'd be fantastic because he looks brilliant, I think.
Yeah. And who should we go for, James or Randy?
Whatever. I don't mind. Me?
Go on.
Yeah. No, like you said, his work rate is second to none, and we've always had that in. The one thing what I think that was probably the best we've seen him was his actual link-up play in the final ball. Obviously, that ball, what he done to Noble, the fact that he took 2 players out the game because he knew what he would do. If that was anyone else, no disrespect, if that was anyone else, that was probably a goal. But one player who sort of went under the radar, I sort of thought, was obviously his goal as well. I thought Manu had a good game yesterday,
Yeah,
winning the
he
ball, winning the ball, and I thought his link up with Bowen was second to none.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, a really good performance.
Yeah, and James.
I think he's getting better, mate. I think he's lost weight. I think he looks faster, Bowen. I think he's looking sharper. The goals will come. That's what I will say with that. It's not about if he's going to score, it's when. Like, do you know what I mean? And as I say, like, let's be like this: if they all start scoring, so that's Bowen, Benrahma, Fornals, and Antonio, then we're going to have a great season, gentlemen. But like, I just think with Bowen's work rate, I must admit, I've been impressed with him. Like, and I don't really worry about the goals. I really don't, because I know he'll score eventually. Like, he's too good not to score. But it's all about the team with me. And if the team's performing and he's performing in that team, then I don't care where the goals come from. Like, Zuma can score 10 if he wants. You know what I mean? I'll go care less. So yeah, it's all about the team. But Bowen's done well, I must admit. He's what I'm liking. Sort of round it up. He's being consistent this year. Like, his work rate's being consistent. He just needs a goal, and I agree with Gary. Anywhere will do, even if it's a 2-yard tapping. Like, he just needs something.
Yeah. Gaza says loves Bowen's work. Great, Bowen, brilliant. Just needs to breathe before he shoots, but everything else, Bowen's been great. Gaza says, I will still play Bowen even if he doesn't score. He makes things happen. He's a David Moyes player. He works hard. Everything that David Moyes wants. If you doubted Lanzini, bow your head in shame. Lanzini had his sharpness back last night, definitely. Love Lanzini. We know he can play. Right then, so just a little update on a big talk about football. Obviously, it wasn't last week. It won't be next week because we're playing Rapid Vienna next week. And then I think we'll be back for 2 weeks before we then play Genk. And then the next week we play Man City. And then we play Genk again. And then Rapid Vienna. So a big talk about football is being interrupted this year by Europe and Carabao Cup. So, when we're not playing, we will bring it to you here. Any final subjects, thoughts, comments you guys would like to add before we wrap things up?
I'd just like to say, great to see Rice and Antonio and all them there last night. Travelled all the way up there to support the lads. I think, I'm not sure, maybe Antonio probably thought he might be getting a gig, but I just thought the togetherness, when what Moyes has done, and Pearce, I thought Pearce spoke really well afterwards as well. I think they've got a great team around them, and it's great to see that togetherness and them all together there last night. That was a big plus for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I agree with what Mike just said there, but what I am seeing is progression. And I'm seeing us looking, and do you know what? It's funny, isn't it? Like, we've got players there in our team, like Manny, that people said, oh, he should go. He's done his time, and he scores the winner last night. Ryan Fredericks, who I criticise quite openly and say that I just don't think he's good enough. For how long he was on the pitch, he assisted the goal, and he's done well. And what he's doing, Moyes, which is amazing, really, he's getting the best out of players that we all thought was average. Like average Joes, so to speak. So, obviously, it's all about Saturday now. Like, obviously, Leeds. Like, we move on from the League Cup. It's all about Leeds, and we've got to go there. And we've just got to stamp their card, really, and show them that we are a proper team, and they're not. So, yeah.
There we go. So that is a big talk about football. Tick done. Series 2 or Season 2, Episode 5. Mike, a huge thank you for you for hosting and coming on the West Ham bit, and a huge thank you to everyone who's come on tonight, and especially our West Ham panel, because we all love talking about a bit of West Ham, especially when we're doing well. Right now, you've got a little bit of a 45-minute break. Now you can go over to the West Ham Network, check out the player ratings for a little bit, and then you can go over to West Ham Reunited for the post-match discussion with Andy and Jazz. And James, I believe you've got a late show tonight for the Leeds previews. You've got everything. Get a cup of tea, get a beer, get whatever you want, because sit back and relax. The West Ham content just keeps on coming.
That is it, mate.
Cheers, guys.
That is it. Come on, you guys. Thank you very much, everyone. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new around. There you go. Go on, James. Go on. Oh.
Yarmolenko's back. Yarmolenko's back. Good old Yarmolenko.
Thank you very much. We'll
Take
see you in
care.
the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Right, here's